Building nice-looking biceps doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need complex workout routines, and you definitely don't need 99% of the machines and equipment that you see at your gym. In fact, you can just do the 2 exercises that I'm about to go over with you in this video and build bigger, defined biceps very quickly, so your arms can fill up your t-shirts in no time. In fact, these exercises are responsible for almost all of my bicep growth, and if it wasn't for me doing these 2 exercises, it would take a lot longer, or maybe I would never even achieve the kind of gains that I did for my arms. The issue is, most people will waste their time getting overly creative and doing a bunch of auxiliary exercises for their arms when they could just be spending that time putting in the reps with the most effective exercises there are. Not only does this save you time, but it actually gets you better results. Before we jump into the exercises, I want you to get a better understanding of how your biceps work so you can actually train them correctly. First of all, as the name implies, the bicep has 2 heads. These consist of a short head, which is on the inside of your arm, and a long head, which is on the outside of your arm. They originate from 2 separate attachment points that connect to the scapula, and then they come together and attach to the radius bone in your forearm. And the reason why this is important is that even though they still are part of one muscle, there are certain hand positions and exercises that target one head over the other more, and we're going to make sure we hit both of these heads with these 2 exercises. The first exercise is by far the best exercise to add mass and grow your biceps bigger: the barbell bicep curl. By taking a close grip with your hands, about shoulder width apart or a little closer, you'll target more of the long head, but this exercise will still hit the short head as well. And if I was to have to choose just one exercise for biceps, the barbell bicep curl would be the one. That's because it allows you to use the strength in both biceps at the same time to lift one weight load. This helps you lift a heavier overall weight load than what you would be able to use if you were using your arms independently, like you would be doing with dumbbells, for example. Lifting more weight is one of the best ways to put on mass on your biceps. As far as execution, it's pretty simple. You're going to grab the barbell with your hands shoulder width apart. Then, while keeping your elbows in one place, you're going to curl the bar up and in towards your shoulders. Then, without resting at the top, slowly lower the bar back down until your arms are fully extended, and repeat for reps. When you're doing this, make sure that your elbows aren't flaring out, and make sure they're not driving forward. Instead, try to keep them locked in one place. This way, you won't be using your shoulders for momentum. Same thing with your back. Maintain an upright, neutral spine. Do not lean back like you're doing the limbo to get the weight up. With that said, as important as form is, you should also be working on increasing the weight load that you're lifting with this exercise over time, as that's exactly what it takes to add mass on your arms. If you're able to do sets for 9 or 10 reps, that means you can probably up the weight and work on increasing your rep range with that heavier weight load. Once you get to 9 or 10 reps with that heavier weight load, just repeat this process of upping your weight, then upping your rep range, then upping your weight again, then upping your rep range. And in no time, you'll be lifting a much heavier weight for barbell bicep curls, which will add a lot of size to your arms, and it's truly one of the only exercises that you actually need. 3 to 5 heavy sets will be more than enough, and then you can add in our second exercise that helped explode my bicep results. And that second exercise is the preacher curl. Now, with the preacher curl, I would recommend that you use an easy bar only because it'll make your wrists more comfortable. However, it is fine to use a regular straight barbell for your preacher curls as well. Just like with the regular barbell curls, you could take a narrow or a wide grip. If you're already taking a close grip with the upright barbell curls, then take a wider grip with preacher curls to target the short head of the bicep, and vice versa. If you're taking a wider grip on barbell curls, you can choose a closer grip on preacher curls. You can alternate which one you take wide versus close each week or each workout, as long as you're hitting both. The preacher curl is pretty straightforward. You get your chest up close to the machine and rest your armpits on the top of the pad. The back of your arms and your elbows should be resting on the pad as well. Then, curl the weight in towards your shoulders and stop before your forearms are perpendicular to the ground, so that you're not resting. Then lower back down and repeat for reps. Again, elbows should stay locked against the pad. They should not flare out. And make sure you're not sliding your hips forward or dropping them off the seat and using momentum to lift the weight up. For this one again, 3 to 5 sets in combination with the standing barbell curls, and I guarantee you'll get amazing results for bicep growth and definition. It's that simple. You can also incorporate further strategy with these exercises, combining them together into a superset. So, you can do a heavy set of close-grip barbell bicep curls, aiming for 6 to 10 reps, and then immediately go to a light set of wide-grip preacher curls for a higher rep range, like 20 reps. This superset combo is what I credit the majority of my bicep growth to. This will help you improve your strength with the heavy barbell curls, and it'll improve your resistance to fatigue when you incorporate the higher rep range. You may fail before hitting 20 reps, and that's fine. Just try to keep your reps above about 15, and if you can't, then lower the weight. If you're hitting 20 reps on each set without failure, then that means you should up your weight again. You don't have to do these exercises back to back, but supersetting helps save even more time and will give you an incredible pump in the process. Whether you superset or do one at a time is up to you. You can also superset your bicep exercises with tricep exercises instead if you don't want to start each superset of preacher curls with your biceps fatigued. A total of 8 to 9 heavy sets for biceps is more than enough, so you can do 4 of each exercise, or 5 of one and 3 or 4 of the other. Although there are many other exercises to choose from, these 2 exercises alone should be sufficient to see some serious bicep growth. The key is to make sure you're upping your weight over time. If you're curling the weight for 9 or 10 reps each set without failure, it's definitely time to up the weight. Then work on increasing those reps again. That simple strategy will help you get much stronger and build bigger biceps over time. Now, even though these are the only exercises you need to add size to your biceps, exercises aren't the only thing you need to grow. The other half of the equation is that you need to make sure you're getting the right macronutrients to help fuel growth. I experienced the most bicep growth and overall muscle growth when I perfected my diet in combination with a consistent bicep training routine. So, you want to take your diet very seriously. For example, if you're not eating enough protein, your body won't have enough amino acids to properly recover and build more muscle tissue. So, you still need to make sure you're getting at least 3/4 of a gram of protein for every pound you weigh. Ideally, you would want to be in a slight calorie surplus as well, where you increase your overall calories by 5 to 10%. This number can be toward the lower side of this range if you add weight on easily, and it may need to be higher than 10% if you struggle putting weight on. But either way, at bare minimum, you should try to eat more calories than you burn on a daily basis. When I was experiencing my best results with adding size, I was eating 9 big meals every single day. If you undereat, your body won't have the raw fuel it needs to grow. So, after you figure out your protein requirements, the rest of your calories can come from carbs and fats. I would always skew my distribution of these 2 energy-producing macros towards carbs. That's because your body prefers to use glycogen for your heavy lifts. Carbs are broken down and are stored in your muscles and liver as glycogen, and that glycogen is used to fuel your workouts. By having more carbs in your diet, you can always keep your glycogen source full to lift the heaviest weight loads you can, and those heavy weight loads are the thing that helps you grow. So, you can use a calorie calculator and distribute something like 25 to 30% of your daily calories to fat, and then the rest to carbs after factoring in your protein requirements. So, that about wraps it up. I really hope this video has taught you a new minimalist approach to training your biceps and that it helps you grow bigger and stronger arms fast. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel.